What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review a 2008 mixtape by Young Dro, Grand Hustle. Basically this product is called I Am Legend and it came out in the winter of 2008. So the fair about this here is this is actually more or less, in terms of Wikipedia's catalog of it, this is like the second official mixtape that Young Dro dropped after day one way back in the spring of 2006 as far as this fair is going to happen. Now that particular mixtape, I reviewed that in early 2024. Pretty bona fide type project is Young Dro in his stride of 2006 when he was putting out hits like Rubber Band Banks and Shoulder Lean, some of those type ones, and Presidential, fairs like that, and My Girl. Definitely pitches some of that particular stride that he had around that time when he was heavy affiliated with T.I. pitches like that. That's basically more or less like a primer in the Gangsta Grills mixtape to another help into Young Dro in that particular prime era. Definitely recommend that project and checking out the Young Dro playlist as far as this fair's gonna happen of the reviews on my channel as far as this pitch gonna happen. But this is like the next one. Now, the unfortunate fair about it is for the most part Young Dro kind of skipped out on 2007, which is kind of unfortunate just for the pitch because he could have capitalized on the buzz that he had in like the 2006 year in general, but he kind of let some steam wind down a little bit, and as a result it was kind of the fair that originally, in certain sense, I remember him being in a Double XL magazine in 2007, and he had talked about the fact that he was working on a second album, and really the fair about it, the kind of product about that atmosphere before High Times Way Out in 2013, he was going to drop an album like in 2008 and 2009, but it kept getting delayed when the singles he put out didn't chart. He did like a song with Young LA, some of those type pitches, but it's just kind of fair as far as saying he was kind of attached to a major label that they had the expectations that he needed a large hit like Shoulder Lean to be able to drop an album again, and he just was not able to replicate that, which is unfortunate. But this is still some pretty official type fair to be able to get this here kind of within the product, but it's just unfortunate that he didn't drop any projects in 2007, because I wonder, that was kind of a quiet spell for him. I think he was probably on tour and pitches like that, but it's kind of the appeal that really there wasn't a lot of commonplace Young Dro in 2007. Now he did actually more or less drop a mixtape. There was kind of a geeked up mixtape that was kind of affiliated with Fabo around that particular time. That's a real low key type 1 Fabo of D Pharrell, and it's kind of pitched that it has like it has a handful of new gems on there pitched like that. That's pretty good as well. Not as classic as Day One, but it's still pretty good stuff. That's in the Young Dro playlist as well, so I just would look after some of those. But this is some bona fide type stuff here, named after the I Am Legend movie that came out in late 2007, pitches like that. Some good type ordeal as far as those fairs going to happen. I look after it here. This is like the big next noteworthy thing that Young Dro did around those particular times, as just figuring out what his next moves are going to be, pitches like that. Another unfortunate thing about this fair is just the fact that T.I. is not really on here whatsoever. It's kind of the pitch, and I realized with him around that time in the fall of 2007, early 2008, he had just gotten arrested, so he didn't know what was going to happen. He was working on Paper Trail in the early stages, but it is unfortunate that he didn't shoot Young Dro a couple verses or something like that to bolster him like he did in 2006, so it's just kind of fair. Young Dro handles it. There are some PSC members, Pimp Squad Click members on here in certain senses, but for the most part, it's interesting just because this is a good mixtape within those ordeals. It is going to get a 10 out of 10, and it has basically 20 songs on here, so it's pretty stacked up as far as this pitch can happen. It's just kind of pitch that I'm surprised that there was not any attempts for like any sort of promotion. This was just kind of like a placeholder and a stopgap as far as this pitch can happen, just because of the pitch as far as saying it's really not like a buzzing type song, some of those type ones. Now, I want to say more or less there were like the occasional buzz song apart from just like Shoulder Lean and Rubber Band Banks off of Day One. Those two songs wound up on Young Dro's Best Thing Smokin' from 06, but Day One had some gems and bubblers on there as well, and plus T.I. was on there a couple of times, so it's just kind of pitch. This one's just more straightforward, clean shift type Dro within the pitch as far as getting towards it. This kind of aspect. It's just kind of a cold cut type helping as far as what's supposed to happen, which is not bad within the appeal. It's just kind of a factoid that it just is a little bit. I feel like the fact, just because he didn't drop any buzz singles or anything to really have, it feels like this is another, not so much mistake, but just kind of more of a misnomer within the aspect. It's not capitalizing on the buzz that he could have had he built upon it. So it's just kind of the fair. Really, most folks probably had not recognized him on the commonplace radio since Rubber Band Banks in 2006. So it's just kind of appeal as far as saying the aspect that he really only had 2 hits to his name in terms of what folks remember him. Didn't do any features, things like that. So it's just kind of appeal. This is kind of very much down on the wayside type fair, but it's just kind of pitch apart from that. There should have been some sort of buzz single, but he did have that song with Young LA. Young LA is actually on this project, pitches like that, but I'll try to point out some I'll try to point out some of the immediate type ones to go for within these pitches on here, because minus like 2 songs, there's, for the most part, this is the original type fare on here as far as these pitches gonna happen. So there is 5001s, which was also on DJ Drama's album, pitches like that, and there's another one, which I forget which one it is, but it's just some more deals. But it's just kind of pitches as far as saying, I mean, even in terms of guest features, Young Dro was really not around that much in 2007, so it's kind of strange, just the aspect. But I just look at it as excellent type ordeals. Classic mixtape here, very low key within pitches like that. Yeah, there's all that. The other song to not talk about within those pitches would be Breathe, which is just a freestyle. The Fabulous's Breathe from his Real Talk album from 2004. So it's just pitches like that. But I look after here, there's 25 songs on this mixtape. Nowadays, when I downloaded this mixtape, there was only 24, one of which was just an I Am Legend interlude that got scrapped. I don't know why, but it's just a pitch. There were 5. It's basically 5 skits that narrows it down to 20 songs. Out of those 20, I recommend all 20. Just clean sweep. It's basically prime Young Dro, just a little bit past his primeness, because he didn't try to capitalize on his buzz or try to build back some of that buzz within those pitches as far as those formats can happen. But it is within the aspect of just a memory jog as far as saying, hey, do you remember me? Chunk of the Deuce pitches like that as far as saying, this is what I've been up to. Slick type ordeal. So I look after it just to be able to say, there's a number of songs. We'd be here for quite some time if I talked about all 18 of these songs. Normally, when it gets that bulky of like a mixtape, I kind of shorten the amount of songs I talk about within those aspects. So I look after here, I'm going to talk about at least 11 out of these 18. So just to say within these pitches, I'm talking about 11 of these. So just to say within the fare, basically these 11 songs I'm going to talk about would be Fly As I Can Be, How I Ride, Tropical, What Else, Making All That Money, On a Pill, Trunk Rattle, Loud, You Know About Me, Cash Money Shit, and Drugs. So just to say, the real nice one on here is You Know About Me. This is very much the samples of T.I.'s song, basically What You Know from back in 2006. A real fresh reminder of that particular style of Young Dro and T.I. rampantly running things back in 2006 as a whole. Good type product to get a fare like this, excellent type fare to get. This is one of the most immediate ones to go for in terms of like just recognizing and remember Young Dro. Now this didn't have a single like I was saying, but this is a good nice one to kind of kick things off. Just kind of keeping things fresh in the memory as far as talking about Young Dro from like the shoulder lean type days and presidential type days and gangsta type days, Stones type hits, and 100-Yard Dash and like presidential, if I didn't say that song, and like they don't song where he talks Man in the Trunk, where he talks about Jackie Chan kicking like Jackie Chan, some of those type pitches, the sound system kicking like Jackie Chan. So plenty of those type ones. Rubber Band Banks also, if I didn't mention that one, but it's just the pitch. You Know About Me is like a vintage roll around and floss, I'd say, within the aspects of it here. Just some DJ Drama fried, kind of Popeyes, kind of glazed. By Popeyes, I mean just pick up some Popeyes, just with the aspect like the tone of just low rider type surfing pitches like that. Just UGK type fare, just Golden Eyes pitches like that. Golden Eyes type fare pitches like that. Definitely a great song to smoke some perp to. There is a pretty good fashion. I like the fact that Young Dro borrows a couple playbooks from some folks as far as this pitch can happen. You definitely get like leftover vibes of Lil Wayne from 2007 when he was doing all those Drought Is Over mixtapes. Even though those weren't official, it's just a good type product to get a lot of those just to smoke hella good in the whip pitches like that. Just kind of out and about, just wilding out with your homies, selling stuff. There's some good ones on here that kind of do that. Definitely some songs like You Know About Me, Loud. I'd probably say like House on Me, some of these type ones is pitches like that. Even though House on Me is more of a house party type song, was this kind of pitch as far as saying there are some ones on here. Mac and Dro. I don't know if I mentioned Loud, but that's a nice one to kind of do that too. Trunk Rattle, obviously, some of these type ones. Forehead's a nice one. So you do get some Loud Pack just to smoke your pals, just similar styles to like Lil Wayne in 2007, also T.I. in the mixtape type fare. More so mixtape T.I., more so than album T.I. is kind of the pitch as far as saying T.I. was busy pumping out songs like You Know What It Is and Big Shit Poppin' and Hurt and some of those type ones. So it's kind of the pitch as far as saying was just the aspect that's getting back to like the Gangsta Grills T.I. from like the Leak album from 2006, some of those type fares within those products. It's good type fare. It really nails it. Tropical is a quality one. This reminds like late 2000s kind of hustle music wrap up to kind of get and break free as far as this pitch can happen. This is like a just got done kind of club primer as far as this pitch kind of goes. So just to miss the product, some of those type ones where it just has like that synthy kind of ness. Not so much like this song is full bound synthy, but this kind of fair, just one of those type ones like a mixtape type format. When you think of folks like Meek Mill and in certain senses, a more commercial type sense, Pitbull, some of those type folks. DJ Khaled was pretty good at doing these type songs. It's something to listen to when it's like 5:30, 6 p.m. pitches like that. Just figuring out the next move. Just got done with the work shift, some of that fares, and just kind of in a mode, whether it is hustlers, makeshift, or standard blue collar, white collar, some of that pitches with them format, just getting towards like the aspect, getting ready to get crunk, get some turn up going. It's kind of miss the music type fare, but switch into flip mode. some of those type ones. Cash Money shit's a nice one as well as like an in-between kind of frolic to get. I would definitely say grab some quick Taco Bell, some of those type pitches, fill up a gas tank, some of those type fares within the product, just filling up the tank in your car, some of those type aspect, this in-between kind of time waste, just standard errands, kind of some neighborhood mingle within those aspects as far as those tones going to happen. A real good radio grab on here, one for the Beezies and the Starlets would definitely be making all that money. It's like a good radio single choice kind of get here, just out of Tip's playbook. I would say T.I.'s playbook, just within those pairs for those pitch can happen. Just some nightclub polish, I would definitely say, just an overall hot type one. So this kind of the product. Not a ton of these songs on within these particular aspects. This would have been some real good radio gloss. I'm surprised that Young Dro didn't try to hit up like Trey Songz or some folk like that, some low key type cat within the aspect. I definitely think he had the budget, but just in terms of the fare, I'm surprised. The more I think about it, I kind of have noticed that Young Dro never did a song with T-Pain. He definitely should have hit him up, chunked up the dude's been like, fuck it, let's get this made. So unless that pitch would have been some good type fare to have hit up T.I. back in, or not T.I., but T-Pain back in his prime. I don't know if I said T.I. ways earlier, but if I did, I meant T-Pain as far as those pitch can happen. There would have been some good type aspects to have gotten that. Some other type folks trying to think on here. The song What Else is a pretty trendy type one. It's a bopping type one. It's like an early bird to 2010s mixtape type turn up, despite the fact it came out in early 2008. Some good type fares because this feels like 2 or 3 or 4 years ahead of where that was popular. Pitches like that. This song definitely reminds like Gucci Mane and OJ the Juice Man, some type folks. Definitely a local kind of buzzing type tune. Pitches like that. Another good sociable type one on here, talking about some of these type ones. And some of these ones that I'm not going to mention kind of have that product as like some of these pairs. Like when I think of songs like Hell Yeah and House on Me, some of those type of ones, and Mac and Dro, some of those type of ones, they're very similar to Loud pitches like that. But we'll talk about Loud here. Loud is like a good company with like heavyweight Dro songs, some of those type pitches. When you think of Gangsta, Rubber Band Bang, some of those type ones, pitches like that. They don't really know about Dro, Shoulder Lean, some of these type ones in here. It's like vintage kind of Grand Hustle turn up, I'd say, within the products of it. Just kind of some socials, kind of get within the aspects. Good song to burn too, as far as the space can have them smoke up real nice. Some of those stuff there, get some red eyes going. Kind of miss the fair about it. How I Ride is a nice one though. This is kind of, in my opinion, I saw this as more of like a club type song, but it is some floss out to kind of get within the product, like some good stunt, like a heavy touch sense to get the sound system jumping. It's like a 2000s kind of mixtape night venue ambience kind of get here, just getting right. I would definitely feel like within the product where they're getting right, just having the enjoyment or getting towards getting tore up, pitches like that. Just a good dance banger, I'd say. A good song to have ladies, good song to have some divas pop that as far as this pitch can happen. Nice song to floss too. So yeah, How I Ride is just a real decked out type song pitch, just like that. I had to say, Fly As I Can Be is the nice one here. I do appreciate the flair of this song. Just differential type tone for most of this. Most of this kind of be more, most of this kind of has more sociable commotion, but this is a nice one for kind of out in the fray. Fly As I Can Be is like a flittery kind of primer for shit to do, pitches like that, shit to do tonight, some of the stuff flares about it, just makeshift wrap up, some of the stuff flares about it as far as this pitch can happen, just kind of a prompt cruise as far as this pitch can go, just hitting up Walmart real quick, grabbing like the supplies or utilities, pitches like that, grabbing like some red cups or napkins, some of the stuff probably getting like a frozen pizza or two, or just the aspect like some good stacks of, get the lighters going, some of those type pitches with an aspect as far as getting ready to get crunk a little bit. Now within the fair, whether it is just like a complex workplace type night or just kind of being more productive within the makeshift, or just the fair for like Thursday kind of primer before like some blitzing Friday, Saturday, some of those type pitches, or even Wednesday preparing for Thursday, just kind of pitch as far as getting towards it. Good type flares. I don't know if I talked about Trunk Rattle, but this is a nice one. It's like a breezy kind of hangout and hotbox tune and kind of get within the aspects of it here. This definitely gives like 2007 Lil Wayne vibes, pitches like that. Good song, definitely gives like 07 kind of Lil Wayne smoke up vibes, pitches like that. I have to say, just get right to this song as far as this pitch kind of happen. Definitely in a more low-key type sense, feels like head shop type material, pitches like that within those ordeals as far as those formats can happen. So it's definitely within the product as far as saying just within the flair behind it, but just like a good low-key type one. Definitely get some smoke-centricness type going, especially for folks that recognize Young Dro, but it's been a little bit just within fair, like more good type products for hell adapts as far as those fairs gonna happen, just in the pitch as far as getting towards it, just some product that just kind of the kickback for like some just time waste pitches like that, and like a hotbox type fair, very similar to 07 Lil Wayne, like I was saying, good type fairs for that, just let the lyrics kind of bleed out, pitches like that. Haven't talked about drugs either. This is a nice one. It's like an out in the midst, like night traffic, I'd say, within products over here. Just local errand run pickups. Some of those type fares about it. Just get like a Sprite and burritos. Some of those type products. Just some good snacks. Some of those type fares. candid and enjoyable kind of pickups. I would definitely say here, just kind of figure out the night as far as this pitch can happen. So just kind of, this one's pretty similar to like Cash Money shit. I'd have to say some of those type ones. There's probably like another one on here, pitches like that. Some of those type of ordeals, just some strut type ones. Now within the fashion, it kind of has more aspects for more of like the central typeness of the hangout type fashion. Not like there's a problem with that, but it's kind of pitch as far as getting towards like the composition. There are some ones like Air Run. Oh yeah, it's probably Fly As I Can Be. Fly As I Can Be, Cash Money shit, Drugs. Some of these type ones kind of have the more commute of it, of just kind of lacing things up, getting the steadfast type material going. But yeah, just pleasant and candid as far as this pitch can happen. Just to miss the fair of it, just some goodies nearby, just pitches like that, figuring out the next mode as far as this pitch can happen. Yeah, but just a good assortment of these on here. So some of these ones I didn't talk about, like Hell Yeah, House on Me. House on Me is like a good house party type song, pitch like that. It's kind of in a more rap rock type sense. So it's just some of those good type ordeals. Seeing Young Dro in a song like that, just kind of fashion of really, it's probably one of the better ones to full bound get hammered to. Like most of this product is pretty smoke centric, but this is a real nice hammering type one to kind of have with the aspect that's like the craze factor. There's some other type ones for like backyard type fashions, like I Know How To, Hell Yeah, some of these type pitches. Standard swag rap within like a commotion type sense, like These Ain't Out Yet. These Ain't Out Yet is just Young Dro stunting pitches like that. Some type products like some glossed upness, some of those type fares like a mixtape type format. So just kind of in between type fashion. These are sort of songs that probably would be like something like Presidential, just kind of within that ordeal, but just kind of in a more in between type fashion of like similar to like Jeezy, some of those type fares within it. T.I. in like certain senses, pitches like that. Vintage kind of mid-2000s swag rap, some of those type of ordeals, especially out of ATL. And then Who Am I is kind of like a commerce type one. That one's pretty similar within the fashion to some of these type ones, like Fly As I Can Be. And there's another one like Tropical, some of those type pitches. So just some of those type ones for like makeshift kind of grabs or leftover within that format. So it's kind of a good type pitch to get some of these type ones on here, just having the extra type fashion and things kind of within the makeshift wrap up of getting the task done as far as this pitch kind of go. Some good type ones on here. So this is kind of the pitch. Young Dro has like good lyric. Young Dro has good lyric flair on here as far as these aspects kind of happen, just to miss the tone. I like some of these PSC members being on here, like Mac Boney's on here, Young LA's on here, but Mac Boney's actually on here a couple times, and so is Young LA pitches like that. For the most part, it's actually not that guest centric, but it's just kind of fair as far as saying it's some good type progs that just some good type progs that getting like the next. Getting a good re-up and shot in the arm type package of Young Dro after he basically missed like he kind of cooled off and missed some of the buzz type appeal where he could have capitalized on it a lot further. It was just one pitch, not like he fell off or anything like that. It's just kind of pitch that it could have had like some ones. I definitely think like a buzz single, something like that, the same sort of noise. But then it's just kind of the product. I mean, the more I think about it, Young Dro, even though it wasn't to be said like that, I mean, he was running things in 2006. It's this kind of ordeal that Rubber Band Banks didn't really catch on that well, and they didn't even try to drop a third single. So it's this kind of pitch. It was just kind of, he basically was just really, I mean, it's not to say he's a one-hit wonder, but most folks it's probably more or less just shoulder lean, but it's just kind of pitch as far as saying it's just the factoid that he was a heavyweight in southern rap, pitches like that. It's just kind of ordeal that he does have some quality music, just kind of ordeal that it's moreover kind of unfortunate that he was kind of shoehorned out of the spotlight when he could have had a good series more hits, pitches like that. It definitely would have been good if he would have at least been given like the second album in the 2000s, something like that, something in 2008 or 2009 even. That Young LA song that he did could have been on an album, pitches like that, but it's just kind of ordeal. So it's just the product. There's some good buzzing type ones on here, pitches like that, this kind of aspect like this blitziness. This is a classic mixtape in like the 2000s type sense, more or less. I don't think this is produced, I don't think this is manufactured by DJ Drama. This is by DJ Scream and MLK. So some folks, I do know DJ Scream in certain senses. He's done some ones I recognize. This is brought to you by Grand Hustle. So even though T.I. is not on here, he did help manufacture get this out as far as this pitch counts. So dismiss the ordeal. So classic mixtape, 10 out of 10. Social score, I'm probably going to give like a 9.75 because it has some hammering typeness on here. Like I said, there's plenty of songs for like the backyard type noise, real sociable type products, and Benny ones in here, pitches like that, some strengths of Young Dro. But it just kind of, the only real thing this product is missing, it does have some buzz singles pitched like that. I would definitely say the T.I. sampling, You Know About Me, is a good choice for like familiar Young Dro to kind of beeline for and making all that money. It's like a good nice one for like the ladies in terms of like a commercial kind of pop rap type sense. But it's kind of the pitch as far as saying that this project, it's a little bit more in hardcore type territory to really recommend. It's not like a Trap or Die or a Dedication pitch like that. It's not to say like it is in terms of quality, but it's a pitch in terms of like the ones where folks are going to while out like they did with Day One from 2006. It's not quite as catastrophic and like the noise it made. It's not to say it's bad. It's just kind of pitch. There's some ones on here. I'd probably say within certain fashions, some of these type ones, you know, some, like these vibes that remind like 2007 Lil Wayne, like Trunk Rattle. Obviously some of these type ones, it's just some good type pitches on here. Fly As I Can Be, I really like the tone, like that pacey kind of one, like a more glittery type sense. There's some makeshift songs on here like Tropical, some of those type pitches. So just kind of format as far as saying, I like some of these Taco Bell run type songs like Cash Money, Shit, and Drugs. So it has the aspects as far as some of these on here. It's just kind of pitch as far as saying this is not as wave making as far as those formats can have. But that's just the pitch to 9.75 social. So in terms of the future, Young Dro has dropped some recent stuff. He's put out some of these products. I'm going to get some more of these. I'm trying to get the most noteworthy ones out of the way. I'm definitely going to get to like his 2015 album because he did drop one of those in 2015. That's his actual third album pitch, just like that. So we'll get to some more of these. But yeah, I'm going to get these mixtapes covered as well. Classic mixtape, even though it made less noise and T.I.'s not on there, but pitches like that, it is some good blitzing type ordeals and overall heavyweight type project. Alright, so folks, there's one more song I forgot to talk about on this particular review of I Am Legend by Young Dro, pitches like that, and that's the song On a Pill as far as this particular album with songs I was going to recommend in like a description type format. So this particular song On a Pill is like a pounding kind of trip out fun to kind of get here. Definitely some smoke fest pitches like that, just similar to like '06 kind of gangsta song pitches like that by Young Dro. Stones that fares off of Best Thing Smoking, aspects like that. Just kind of a backyard wild. This particular song is kind of a backyard wild out with pals as far as this pitch comes. This hangout type sesh, some of those type fares just getting crunk like normal type fashions. Now within the product, like I said, there's a good assortment of songs like this on this particular mixtape. Also on like the Day One mixtape and Best Thing Smoking, some of this type of also like the Day One mixtape and Best Thing Smoking, some of those type ordeals. But it's just good type pitch to get a lot of these. There's plenty of these on here like Trunk Rattle, a bunch of these ones like that, Loud, some of these type ones, Mac and Dro pitches like that. So it's just some good type ordeals to just have some smoke fest going, get the hell swishers lit, some of those type fares. Obviously Young Dro living up to his name, pitch like that. So just some good type ordeals. Another anchor of this particular product, just some further bound type hits. Yeah, but also say it's very similar to the gangsta beat and song off of Best Thing Smoking, pitch like that. So just some good type ordeals.